myself, I'm a chronic jack of all trades. Like, before I finish getting interested in one thing, another thing has started interesting me. I now leave this one and move to the next one. Maybe that's why I can't seem to grow my social media account, because like I'm always like on the move onto the next thing. Today I'm liking tech, tomorrow I'm liking something else, today I'm liking. Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be sharing the top 6 life lessons that have shaped the last 31 years of my life and has greatly influenced the achievements and success I've gotten up until this point in my life. So I hope you take a thing or two from this video. So let's just dive right into the point. The very first one being luck plays a role. If you look at the world today, there's nothing that really seems fair, because if the world was fair, there will be less injustice, there will be less poor people, there will be less beggars on the street. There will not be any situations that make you feel like, oh, why is this person getting away with this act that he's doing against another person. So luck really plays a role in the sense that everybody's fate is different. And I came to this realization after I listened to one of Trevor Noah's podcasts, or an interview he did basically, and where he acknowledged the fact of luck. And I just made me to think like, oh really, like luck really plays a role in so many things. Because for using myself for instance, like getting the job I have, like being a happy person, having a stable family, like why is it that it's only you that is having all these things, whereas looking at the next person beside you, like you find that their life is a complete opposite to what you have. It now makes you feel like somewhat guilty that you have this, you have that. But I think it will be more reassuring to you who is maybe having like a tough time or feeling that you are not the most luckiest person, just having that reassurance that life is different for everybody, everybody's fate is different. That you are not successful today does not mean that you will not be successful tomorrow. So knowing the role that luck plays in our lives, everybody's luck is not the same, people's fates are different, and everybody's time of success is different. That does not mean that you should stop working as hard as you can or working as smart as you can. Whichever one you feel is working much better for you, just stick to it. Don't allow another person's success to determine the pace at which your own success will come, because you end up being only stressed out. So knowing the role that luck plays in our lives will really give you a stress-free life and allow your own life to take its own course at the pace it wants to, because everybody's life is going to end up where it is meant to be. So this is where I believe that luck really plays a role in our lives. But although even the Bible does not acknowledge that there's anything called luck, that everything happens because of the will of God, the fact that the world believes that there's something called luck, or I believe that there's something called luck, just goes hand in hand with the will of God for each and every one of us, because everybody's fate and the will of God for everybody is completely different. So just focus on your own life and try to achieve your own success at your own pace, believing in the will of God for you, or believing in the luck that the universe has provided for you. So acknowledging that luck plays a role in everything will keep you stress-free and not allow another person's success to determine your own success. So the second one being learning to be contented but striving to be your best self is everything. This one is something that many of us struggle with, especially even coming from myself, who people around me might just think, oh, she has achieved so much already at this point in her life, at this age. But to me, I'm still not contented with what I've gotten. Like, it's something I struggle with, and I know many of us are in these same shoes. Learning to be contented is something that you have to constantly or consciously do to become contented with what you have, especially looking at the way that social media tends to influence a lot of us, especially teenagers or people that are just coming up, and all you see on social media are people living flashy lives, they make it seem like their life is all better. It is important to acknowledge the fact that learning to be contented is hard. It's not something that's very easy, especially as many of us are surrounded by the flashy lives you see on social media. It feels like everybody's life is way much better than yours. But being contented while striving to be like your best self, or while striving to achieve personal growth, waiting for your own success to come at the point at which maybe the universe has willed it to come, but because of the pressure we see on social media, or the things we see on social media, it puts in this pressure of making us not to be contented with what we have. We want to achieve it faster. You see teenagers of nowadays, before they're even 20, they're already talking about how they want to achieve this, they want to buy this car, they want to buy this phone, they want to buy this Rolex. This is all because you see people on social media claiming to be the same age of yours and having achieved all these things. but not telling you like exactly what they are doing to be able to achieve this thing. So contentment is really hard if you are the one that is easy to be influenced by the things you see on social media. So over time, after coming to this realization that like social media will always be there, and there will be always be things in your front that will make you want to like have every single thing you see out there, but knowing yourself and wanting to be contented, consciously reminding yourself to be contented, and knowing that you can't have everything in this life will definitely give you a more peaceful mind. Because if you want to achieve everything, if you want to have everything, you want to have that phone, you want to have every car that you see out there, this life you find yourself more stressed than you are ever like at peace. Because being contented with what you have while striving to achieve like personal growth, while working hard in your own lane to become a better version of yourself, and which will make it easier for you to achieve these things that you are seeing on social media, will help you a long way. So to put this in context, like over time I've been trying to grow my social media accounts, like from Instagram, TikTok, and even this platform on which we are like citing my first channel, Margaret Hudson Peters. But it has always felt like it was so hard despite how much I put so much effort into it. Although I don't like indulge myself like in my everyday, because I still have my 9 to 5 job. I try my best to put a lot of effort into this platform, but I still don't see as much success at the level at which I deserve. Because it feels like no matter how much I work hard, or it now makes me think, is this really my luck in this area? Like, is it that I'm not supposed to grow so much? But all these fears and worries all comes from like being contented at where you are and working, like continue to do what you're doing. One day success will find you. If the time for you to have the success on social media is not now, it will not come, no matter how much you force it. So I've come to a place where I now enjoy the process, just enjoy what I'm doing. As long as like I'm happy doing it, over time success will come. At least we've seen so many stories like that, even though it's not like the typical ones that it took overnight for them to have success on their social media platforms. But for some people it took them quite some time, and they were still able to achieve success just by loving what they were doing and keeping at it over time. So knowing these things, being contented in where you are now, being contented with yourself, who you are, what you are, and what you can achieve, knowing your prospects will help you a long way to become contented with yourself, not allowing the things you see online or you see around you to influence you so much as to stress you out. So the next one is givers never lack. This is a lesson that I came to find out, or I came to learn over time in my life. It's something that after growing up, or after coming to this point in my life, I found it very easy to give. I don't know if it's because maybe I've been surrounded by like my family, my uncles. Like I have this uncle who is always giving like every chance he gets. He does not always, like, the percentage of no's you hear from him is way less. And this is not just to his family members, but to people around him. He's always finding it easy to give. I don't know, maybe that was what influenced my attitude of always wanting to give. I love that joy in people's face when I give them something, whether small or big. But just that joy that comes from me giving has over time like influenced my constant attitude of always giving. And one thing I know that this attitude or this behavior has brought into my life is, no matter how much people are complaining about money, no matter how much people are complaining about things, I find it way easier to get them. And it just made me grasp onto this fact that givers really never lack. Like, it's something that is true because I've experienced it in my life. For most people it's not very easy, and especially in this world of today whereby you give, like it feels like your giving does not really bear any fruit in your life, or it just makes you feel like the person you're giving ends up returning evil to you, especially with friends and your relations and whatnot. But knowing that like you giving will over time make you can never really lack. Like, trust me on that one. In my life I've seen what it has done. So knowing that like when you give, you can never lack. You give 100 naira today, tomorrow you find that you are getting 200 naira that you do not deserve. what happened? Nature is rewarding you with like blessings of what you did yesterday. So this is a true story of my own life, or what it has been doing for me. Like, my attitude of giving has always just influenced my attitude of receiving. The more your hands are open to give, the more your hands are open to receive. So knowing this is very important. I know sometimes this can be hard for us because we're a product of our nature and our nurture. The way we grew up, the way our parents reacted to the money, the way we saw money, it influences how much we can even think of giving to somebody, because you're always thinking that when you give, you're not going to have. But take it from me today, giving will help you never to really lack. That is something that is very important. A percentage of your nature will obviously be there. Maybe you feel like and especially over time, we've seen many people that you give and then maybe this person ends up returning your good for evil. It now makes you discouraged to want to give. But if you keep these things in your mind and feel like you will never give again, or you never be a good person again, you only find yourself being more stressed. You only find yourself being more feeling bad about the life you're living. So try to always give. Be happy when you're giving. You will naturally get it back. Givers never really lack. I'm a huge testimony of that. So knowing this is very important. So stick to give it. So for this next one, I'm very interested in it, and I always try to be consciously put myself in it. That is basically being positive and optimistic is a gift, like a serious gift, because I've seen so many people that let's say something happens, they tend to think of the negative aspect of it. Even when something positive happens, they always look for the negative in that positive. So being positive is something that when you're positive and optimistic about things, even sometimes you have to be delusional about this, your optimism, even when it feels like, oh, this reality is not nothing to be positive about. But I've come to find out that whenever I'm positive about something, or whenever you find people that are always positive, they are always having positive energy around them. Like, they attract the same positivity that they give out. When you're always negative, the universe will always bring negativity towards you. Trust me on this. Like, being positive is a serious gift, because it's very hard for you to see somebody that was once negative becoming positive all of a sudden. You have to consciously now relay your attitude of being negative all the time and turn it to positive. Because just imagine you're always thinking about the positive aspect of life, like, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be this. Even though sometimes delusional, you find that it has a huge impact in your achievements in life, the things that come around you, the people that come around you. You can only receive what you give out. So knowing that you giving out positive energy will naturally attract positive things to your life, positive achievement, positive people, positive situations. It will help you a long way. Don't be negative. Try to be as positive as you can be, even when sometimes it feels delusional. Like, using Nigeria's case as an example, we always think, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria has so many situations that we only keep in the negative light. But you can decide to be more positive about those situations. Just try to think of, okay, we can get out of it. Like, it might take some time, but we'll get there. All these things are ways to keep yourself in a positive mind, and which, even when, like I've said severally, it is delusional, it will end up bringing positivity your way. Even when it's affecting every other person negatively, like they're thinking of it as negative, you will find that even in those chaos, you're still finding organization, or you're still finding peace in your life. So this is something that you should really think about. If you are more of a negative type, I think it will be more beneficial to you if you become positive today. So that is it for being positive is a gift. For this last one, this is something I find very interesting. Being jack of all trades is a blessing and a curse. Yes, like, you find that people that are jack of all trades, they are never experts in anything. Like, there are positive sides to this, there are negative sides to this. But myself, I'm a chronic jack of all trades. Like, before I finish getting interested in one thing, another thing has started interesting me. I now leave this one and move to the next one. Maybe that's why I can't seem to grow my social media account, because I'm always on the move onto the next thing. Today I'm liking tech, tomorrow I'm liking something else, today I'm liking being jack of all trades is stressful, because especially the only good thing about this is I feel like it keeps you curious. You're always looking for information, you're always looking for the next thing, you're always wanting to know about them. Even when you don't go in depth into those things, which is the negative part, but you're always curious. So being jack of all trades is something that, you know, like many of us might struggle with, or you might find the positive aspect of it. Like I said earlier, just looking at the positive aspect of, you know, you being a jack of all trades, even though you are not, you know, like the perfect in anyone, but at least you can still work hard to create a career out of all your, you know, like interests, all the things you like to dabble into. So this is something that I found very interesting. So overall, these are the top 6 things that, you know, like I feel like has shaped my life over time. These things are something that are more personal to me, but maybe you might find 1 or 2 things that you find yourself always doing. I think it will be more interesting if you take the positive side of all these things that I've talked about and try applying it in your life, because after all, there's already too many negativity in the world already. So it's not like you know, saying this one is I like being negative, or I like being this, I like being that. That will not mean that you now only focus on negative aspects of life. So try looking at the positive aspects of things in your life. So these are just the things that have shaped my life. If you feel that, you know, you want to share with us what the lessons that have shaped your life, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. Especially, you know, like now I told you we are a family, we are trying to, you know, be one. I want us to share our life's experiences, our insecurities, our development, our growth, our everything together. So now these are the top 6 ones that have shaped my life over the course of time, and has, you know, greatly influenced, you know, like my achievement and success, or at least that is what I believe. I would love to hear from you guys. Click that like button, subscribe to my channel for more, and, you know, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.